Hello again. I'm Clark Saunders. Craig Cassils is the composer who writes the music for this songwriting team of Cassils and Saunders, and I'm the one who writes the words. Today I want to talk again about danceable songs. I've already talked about how two different Christian traditions have contrasting attitudes when it comes to the way we think about our bodies. One attitude sees the flesh as a matter of indifference or as an actual source of trouble. The other takes a more body-positive approach. We are embodied beings, known to one another through our physical presence. If we understand dance as a physical expression of our bodies, we could say that the former approach discourages dancing, while the latter encourages it. Well, judging from all the danceable songs we've written, there can be little doubt that Craig and I are in favor of dance. Dance is a good thing. The song, Dance, 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 goes so far as to commend dance as a form of praise and worship. And yet, when we think of the attitude of many adults toward restless children who want to move their bodies, the first word that comes to mind may well be don't. Certainly, it's the first word in the titles of two of our songs. In the case of one song title, it's the only word. In fact, Don't is a song of do's and don'ts. It sets up a kind of dialogue, told from a child's point of view, in which an adult voice tries to stifle the child's natural exuberance, while the child can't resist moving to the beat of a song. The music parallels the contrasting points of view. Children singing the song may be able to restrain themselves while the adult voice has its say, but when the beat intensifies, something is sure to happen to their feet. The adult voice may say repeatedly, "Don't." The child responds, "The Spirit says to move, and I do." The occasional spoken words add to the liveliness and the fun of the song.
Don't, they say, don't move. Sit still, you have something left to prove. When your pants are full of ants and you feel you have to dance, don't jump around and prance, just don't. But when I hear the beat, something happens to my feet. At church, at school, I may be acting like a fool. It's true, I don't care a microgram. It doesn't matter where I am. The Spirit says to move, and I do. Be good, they say, behave. Don't squirm, be as quiet as the grave. Don't wriggle all around, keep your feet flat on the ground. Don't listen to that sound, just don't. But when I hear the beat, something happens to my feet. At church, at school, I may be acting like a fool. It's true, I don't care a microgram. It doesn't matter where I am. The Spirit says to move, and I do. Don't, they say, don't shake. Stay calm, don't quiver, don't quake. When the urge is feeling great to let your body activate, and you want to celebrate, just don't. But when I hear the beat, something happens to my feet. At church, at school, I may be acting like a fool. It's true, I don't care a microgram. It doesn't matter where I am. The Spirit says to move, and I do. The Spirit says to move, and I do.
The other song that begins with that admonishing word don't speaks with a more positive voice from beginning to end. Countless songs have been inspired by the last of the Psalms, Psalm 150. It's the one that calls on people to praise God in a variety of places and with a variety of instruments. Don't Forget the Tambourine differs from other musical treatments of this psalm in a number of respects. In speaking of the two different instruments in the second line of each verse, we sometimes updated an instrument. Lutes became guitars, for example. In the accompaniment track, the featured instruments of each verse in turn get to play along with the words, "But while your arms are swinging and while your legs are springing." Then there's an instrumental interlude between the verses in which the tambourine gets to do its thing. We figured that whatever other instruments a group might or might not have handy, a tambourine is not hard to get hold of. It can be fun to include it. And of course, this would definitely qualify as a danceable song with its unusual 6/8 time signature and its explicit mention of dancing and singing. By the way, the only words that change from verse to verse in the first line, in church, on high, great deeds, are suggested by the first two biblical verses of this short song. And the only words that change in the next line are the particular instruments that make a literal or imagined appearance. Again, repetition is recommended when it comes to songs for children, and we trust that in this case, the repetition does not make the song boring.
When you are praising God in church, make music with dancing and singing. Add flutes and guitars to the mix if you can. That would be an excellent plan. But while your arms are swinging and while your legs are springing, in order to complete the scene, don't forget the tambourine. You are praising God on high, make music with dancing and singing. Add trumpets and horns to the mix if you can. That would be an excellent plan. But while your arms are swinging and while your legs are springing, in order to complete the scene, don't forget the tambourine. When you are praising God's great deeds, make music with dancing and singing. Add cymbals and drums to the mix if you can. That would be an excellent plan. But while your arms are swinging and while your legs are springing, in order to complete the scene, don't forget the